All right, good afternoon, everyone. 12:33 now on this 26th day of September. How you guys doing? Type in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling. How the vibes here on this Friday? Blue was first today on YouTube. Congrats, Blue. I see Storm Chaser Jason is on here. Hello to Amy. Hi, Amy. Marianne. Got the chance to see Larry Fritz the other day you had on there. Hello to ZK. And yes, it's been a while. Down Home Bluegrass. You're exactly right. Some Down Home Bluegrass there. Yeah, and Angela, get ready. Wavy is going to do some wild things this upcoming season. So whether it's fall, Halloween, Christmas, Wavy is our whole other part of the family now, as you're about to see. Okay. Hope you guys are doing well. Sorry for a bit of a late day blog here today, but wanted to at least look over as much as I can because there's a lot to cover. And I'm sure you already know I'm going to cover because a lot of you are the weather enthusiasts of Wave Country, so you are fully aware of the weather pattern and weather models and such. I get it. We're trying to deputize everybody. It's taking a while. But for some of you, probably like, I don't know what he was talking about. Is it going to snow? Is it going to rain? Is it going to be locusts? What's he referring to? So I'll get to all that as we get into later on in the update here. We have some good news to share as well, as always the case. It's important, right? You guys can comment, already are, on the social media side, YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook. Am I missing something else? Still not TikTok yet. Although I'm debating on going live on TikTok at some point today. I'm not sure. If it won't be today, it'll be this weekend. But it's Be Good Weather, Be Good WX is my name there. I'm debating on going on. A few things I wanted to show you all, but I think I want to show you all some stuff at home. So give it a follow. And I can't guarantee I'll be live, but if I do, then you'll be some of the first to know. All right, let's get into now that we've done the countdown, right, to fall. Now we have to start the countdown to winter. I know. This is where, look, snow haters, you had a long time here. You had a lot of heat, a lot of humidity. We haven't talked much about snow really since February around here. So you've had your vacation season. It's starting to come to an end. So now this is our time for the next 6 months or so to constantly talk about it, even if it's just a countdown. So we're all about balancing out, and now it's balancing to the bots fans, in case you're new. And some of you are bots. You'll see that acronym a lot and that hashtag a lot. And it was created here at Wave for Bring on the Snow. And I see it everywhere now. I saw national outlets that the other day were using the hashtag bots. We've gone national with that hashtag, but it is ours here at Wave. All right. So, not saying that winter is coming anytime soon. It's going to take some time. In fact, we're looking at some of the trees there at Waterfront Park. Some of this has been drought stress. I mean, my yard is covered in leaves. A lot of the trees around me have already lost them just because of how dry we've been. So that, I guess, sort of saves me some work for later. We'll see. But I have a lot of large maples all around me, so I got a feeling they're going to be catching up soon. And I get a lot of the neighbors' leaves. Don't you love that when you get those blowing in your yard? Especially the first wind we get. But usually at Waterfront Park, they do tend to show some pretty colors. A lot of pretty reds and yellows combination there at Waterfront Park. Right now, from what I can tell by that image, I would say that's a little more drought stress, if there's anything there that has shown up already. Let's see, everyone on? I'll try and give a second for everyone to get logged in, get the notifications. Hello, Margaret. Hope all is well. Storm Chaser, Jason there. Bots, I can't wait. Let's hope that it delivers this year, right? You know, I can't. Cameron's probably not on yet, but as soon as Cameron logs on, he's going to start asking me what's the long term look like. Watch, he'll say that. Maybe he's in school. I don't know if he's in school or not, but if he's on, we'll find out. Okay, so let's get into rainfall. We needed this so bad to get this soaking rain after such a dry stretch, and we got it. So good drink of water out there. Hopefully even areas that were missed by the first couple little waves balanced out and get caught up again. The heaviest is still from that Tuesday event that we had. Was it Tuesday? Tuesday, where Trimble County picked up over 7 inches of rain there. Otherwise, Louisville's been in an average of about 3.5 has been our average. So we're close to the 4-inch mark in some areas of Jefferson County. I think I was averaging about 3.1 at my house. And where you get into that orange, where it's a little more likely you cross over 4 inches, and that would be Spencer County all the way down into Hardin County, and then also in our far southern counties. But Indiana, you saw the least amount. All right, you generally were under the inch in many cases. You got it in phases, right? You got some. I'm sure you probably wanted more than that, but certainly the hardest hit areas. Let me show you what I mean by that. So stare at this image, screenshot it if you're on your phone right now, whatever, so you can compare it to what I'm about to show you, which is the drought map, which, again, Indiana has some of the lower drought values compared to Kentucky, especially areas that picked up some of the heavier amounts there. So this hopefully will have a better look to it, the drought monitor will, when it comes out next Thursday. The ground will be sampled, well, it was sampled, will be sampled, I'll get it right, Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, and we'll have the map Thursday. Now, could we get rain before then? That's the majority of what this blog is going to be about. Yes, it is possible. Otherwise, we would continue on with the drought scenario. Just in the last 24 hours, though, just to kind of give you a comparison, not a lot of rain from yesterday. It was all kind of last-minute stuff along the front and the boundary. I'm not sure what happened here. I think it was really early in the day, back toward the Wabash area. All right, let's get into the current setup. We got the cumulus clouds forming. You can almost see the path they are taking, kind of the striations in the sky. That's the wind flow. So it's a north wind, easy to tell about just by looking at the visible satellite. You can tell what wind direction you have. So that's a flow coming in from Canada. It's a drier wind. So these are not rain-producing clouds, but they will act for a little bit of shade every once in a while in a very pretty, as I say, Bob Ross kind of sky outside. This entire boundary is to the east. Now, there's a couple things to point out as we go on here, and we'll circle back to this because it is part of the long term. But we do have an upper low that is still on the tail end of our front that came through, and it's still hovering around Atlanta. And this is going to be a feature that will eventually get absorbed by what will be a Milda here very soon. It will likely get absorbed by it, but at the same time, they do tend to work as a team to start off next week. So this is why I think we could get some clouds and maybe even a shower from this portion of the whole storyline, is that this upper low here, before it fades off the map completely, may be a part of it and get pushed backwards a bit. Don't see it being a huge issue at all for the weekend. I'm talking all next week here. So that upper low should stay in its place for now. So it's looking good for us. Let me wipe through the next few days. You can tell I'm tired. As we go through Futurecast, you can see we're looking good. No problems today. In the 70s, maybe touching 80. Tomorrow, just a smidge warmer. Maybe add, a couple of degrees here and or there into the lower 80s, but still looking gorgeous. We get into Sunday. Now this is the graph model, is taking us to 87. Not quite ready to go that warm, but I do think an 84 and 85 degree high in Louisville is reachable. So by that point, you're thinking, wait a minute, that is not exactly a fall-like weekend. Yes and no. No, in the sense that, yes, it's 84, 85. That's a little more summery. It's above normal, right? But humidity will be low, so it won't feel like that. And we will still be able to drop in the evening. So in that sense, it will have a fall feeling to it with that crisp air feeling and the decent drop that happens in the evening. So really, for any plans you got, and I know that's what you're really wanting to know, is it going to rain at this time? What's it going to be at 3 o'clock on Saturday, 4 p.m. Sunday? I don't know. You guys always spit out a lot of times at me. I don't know how you're able to go to all the events you say you're going to. I'm not sure if you really go to all of them. I think you're just saying that so there's proof that you asked about it, and then you can back out of it later so your friends don't get mad. I have no idea. Not saying I do that. None of my friends are on here, right? No, okay, good. So I think in general, though, it's easy. It's going to be good this weekend. You're fine. No problems. And snow in October? I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover that today or not. We'll come back. Hang tight on that one. Where is everybody from, by the way? I know where some of you are from. I talk to you every day, so I know some of your locations. Some of the names I see here I don't normally see, so let me know where you're at. Shirley over there into Frankfurt. Hello, James. Hope all is well. What'd you say, Angela? Whoops, the wrong one. Locust, although there was one this summer. Although there was this one summer here where grasshoppers and locusts were everywhere between 1978 and 81. It was so gross walking around outside and trying to mow the yard. Yikes, doesn't sound like fun. But it seems like centuries ago, right? Whether we had the cicadas that were here that were so loud. That was a wild experience in May. It really was. I don't think I've ever heard anything like that we had in May. So to me, that will always stand out in my head. That sound, this kind of just screeching at times. Hi, Myron. Sorry. How are you doing? You want to say hi to the bloggers? They're on right now.
You cut your hair?
I did cut my hair. Thank goodness.
Good.
It was getting a little out of control.
You're not grouchy anymore?
I'm never grouchy. I'm not. Anything you want to say to these fine folks?
Guys, it's Friday. We made it to the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice and sunny out.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everyone has a great day, a great weekend. Yeah, you look nice.
Thank you.
I like the fit.
That was very deep. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got weekend plans?
Hi, Adam. Hello, Cody. Weekend plans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. My daughter is taking horseback riding lessons again on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that. And it's her birthday party on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we said happy birthday to her yesterday.
Yeah.
She's, 31?
Yeah,
31
going on
now?
31.
31.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah, look at all these people joining you.
Yeah, they're all snow fans. Well, a majority of them are. I'll let you know which ones aren't in case you want to know. Hey, Justin Logan's on.
Justin Logan! Oh my God! Get out of the way. Hi, Justin. Hey, Jay.
Oh, my wire's just unhooked. That's great. She just threw me off the desk.
Two of my favorites. J-Lo, you are so missed. You have no idea.
Let me zoom out a little bit too, so you can see. Hey, J-Lo, how you doing?
Justin Logan.
How's everything going in Lexington?
Used to be a motorcyclist, meteorologist here.
He used to be a motorcyclist, I think, didn't he? He has that kind of a vibe. Like
y'all, I hit my head really hard last week, and I still feel like the lingering effects of like brain fog and not speaking correctly. But J-Lo, can I make a guest appearance? Yes, all the time. Was here, and J-Lo and I worked together on the weekend mornings. We had so much fun. Let me tell you, getting up like at 3 a.m. was never easy, but when we would come in, like the energy was on. It was so much fun.
You know, Justin Logan has something else in common with us, Myra.
What?
He also appeared on a segment on John Oliver's Last Week Tonight.
No way.
Yes, I don't know if you got a chance to say anything or not, Justin. But I did see it. I did see the clip, and I thought someone else from Wave had made it on there.
That is so
from over in his Lexington station there. Logan needs a similar blog for Lexington. Justin loves snow. He really does. He loves to talk about it. He gets excited about it like we are as kids. So Justin needs to do his version of Snow Talk for sure out there. Maybe he already does. I don't know. We need to catch up with Justin. We need to get him over here. He just needs to. Yeah, just come back, Justin. It'd be easier if you just came back.
It would be so much better.
Yeah, then you got to deal with us.
He would love it.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
No. Sorry to crash your party.
No, you can come anytime and visit. These guys love you.
How come you're not TikToking?
Well, I don't have my thing to put it on, but I am going to be TikToking this weekend.
Tammy says, bring on the snow.
That's right. Getting ready to hear bots over and over and over.
So many people watching. I'm very much impressed.
Oh, thank you. These are all snow lovers. They're all snow lovers.
Okay, on the way.
Justin said he's on the way. He's not on the way. Trust me. He's going to the gym right now. He's not on the way.
Oh, he's been working out. Good for him.
You got new glasses. He's working out.
I just
Transforming. All right.
All right. I'll see you at 3.
Well, thank you for coming by. Appreciate it.
I was going to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, you better get going. Always lovely when Myra has a chance to come by. And Justin, always good to talk to you as well. We need to catch up. Seriously, we do. This is how we do it. We have to get on each other's blogs to communicate. Isn't that awful? We have a text message right here. We'll probably send me one in a second. But we have to text to stay in touch. But life is busy. It's been so busy, right? As of late. So it's hard to really stay in touch anymore. Okay, so where was I? Oh, yes. So a blizzard for Halloween, as we're expecting for this year. I'm just kidding. Watching from Las Vegas, Jackie. 90s there today. Way out there, aren't you? It's what? Oh, it's still morning out there for you. Okay, let's get right into it. We'll dive into it. Sorry, guys. I mean, get too distracting because I know some of you have only your lunch break here. And you're like, okay, Brian, I need to know what's going on so I can get back to eating my chicken nuggets. All right, so as we evolve through time, everything looks good. We get into next week, you just start to see little hints of what I'm referring to. And let's update the tropics first, and then I'll try to explain where we're going to go with it. So Gabrielle is now post-tropical. It's all the way on the other side, really, the globe. It's heading toward the Azores and Spain and Morocco right now, and it's just an area of low pressure. So I'm not even going to cover Gabrielle anymore. All right, so, but it is all about Umberto and soon to be Imelda. As if you haven't heard yet on social media, it's probably dominating your feed now if you looked, because that's all everyone's talking about. I get it. Hurricanes get a lot of attention, but boy, you get twin hurricanes forming. Well, then that is a little unusual. That will certainly get your attention. First off, when it comes to Umberto, it is a hurricane that's getting stronger, still Cat 1, but Umberto is forecast now to go into a Cat 4. Hasn't that been the theme this year, that they just do this rapid intensification? Tends to be always stronger than what the models say. Not surprising. That always seems to happen, especially the warmer waters we've had as of late. But notice the track still takes it and curves it away from sea. But here's the thing. At the same time that Umberto is doing its thing, soon to be Imelda is forming. It's interacting with some land area here around Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, so it's having a tough time and getting fully organized, but it'll drift far enough north to allow it to organize soon. Within the next 12 to 24 hours, it should be named. And then they both will be on the map and passing each other nearly the same spot here on the southeast part of the coast. Now, you can get two hurricanes side by side, yes. Now, because the atmosphere has got a limit to it, it's unusual. They will both be about the same intensity. One tends to be stronger than the other, which seems to be the case with this one as well. But what will help Imelda initially in its battle is that we do have a very strong high that'll be diving down that will allow for Umberto to just leave town fairly quick. So Umberto is only going to be around for part of the week on the map. Still making headlines, but only part of the week. That leaves Imelda then to figure out, okay, now what do I do? Because Umberto kind of took up the spot that Imelda needed to take to kind of leave, so it gets trapped. And that's where things get a little wonky. So far, a lot of the modeling here, let me show you that. These lovely spaghetti plots, which do look like spaghetti, are all over the place. I mean, we could see that there is a forward motion here, strong agreement that it's going to drift north and get named. And at that point, you can see the influence of this huge high that I'll show you in a second that dives down from roughly eastern Canada to about Delaware. That type of angle of a strong high pressure like that is going to force a tropical system to make a decision quickly. Humberto is going to be strong enough ahead of it to where by the time it drops down, it will force Humberto to have no choice but to make the turn. However, Imelda will have a fork in the road. And you can see some of the models hint at that. Like there's a couple of the pieces of spaghetti are possible tracks that say, oh, maybe I can go around it and just start heading east, kind of following in the wake there a bit of Humberto. Or will I drift more west into the Carolinas and into Tennessee area of the southeast corner? It can't go much further west than that because the high is sliding southeast and will eventually slide completely out of the picture. So there's not a lot of a push to keep it going west, but it brings it just west enough to get on shore. Unfortunately, that means anybody that's stuck under this may deal with a lot of wind when it comes to storm surge, just general wind from the low pressure of a tropical system, a cyclone like that in general, and then a tremendous amount of heavy rain that will happen in this area. And it could last for several days. So this is a very unique setup. We've been facing the Humberto situation many times this season. They form, they get strong, they get intense, they curve away. Imelda is different. Got a different feel to it. And there's not a lot of data historically to go with this kind of a scenario that typically happens. So we're having to just try to consider Humberto's placement, but just focus on what is going to be influencing Imelda the most, and that will be the game plan for next week. And I'm talking to not just our area, but there are a lot of you that are watching MO Stopping Grounds there in Charleston. There are some of you that have vacation plans there or going on a cruise. So this is an important forecast for you guys, right? So let me get into instead of doing an art class of drawing all over a fresh map, Ryan Hoke helped out by getting the whole map ready so that I can draw on it. Oh, thank you. It makes it so much easier. All right, so let me explain again the players in the field and what we're looking at and what it could mean. I'll get to your questions because I'm sure you got some. There's Humberto. All right, easy. There is Imelda. And this is going to be roughly the time period you're looking at here. I would say this is going to be Tuesday night, Wednesday-ish. So about the middle of the week is what this would be a snapshot of. And then there's the big high that is located across Canada and the Great Lakes that is going to be sliding to the southeast. This thing is fairly strong. And certainly for a weaker system like Imelda will be, the range is anywhere from a tropical storm to a high-end Cat 1. But as we just saw, the intensity forecast in hurricanes is not the best. So, I mean, the Gulf Stream does run along the eastern seaboard, right? So you don't want it crossing that too long. But that's the setup. Those are the players in the field. I think for our area, if the high moves in just the right time when Imelda is hugging around the Carolinas, yes, there is a northwest jaw component that does make sense to me. It's the same as if you were to have a big pile of balloons, or say just one balloon in the floor, big giant balloon, and you want to jump on it, it's likely going to go one way, right? Well, it may even pop. But say it doesn't pop. It will slide from your body and kind of slide one way. Well, that's what's happening here. This high pressure is going to be crushing down onto Imelda, and it'll kind of just have to force itself in one way or the other, and likely will get pushed a little more west. There is big concern here for the Appalachians because of the same storyline, almost to the year, right, of Helene, where the same thing happened, where we had the outer bands from Helene were so far out, they were already hitting, the Smoky Mountains and into Gatlinburg, just as Helene was making landfall into the Big Bend area of Florida. But we already had headlines in the Carolinas of flash flooding, water rescues, roads being washed out, and it hadn't even gotten there yet because those outer bands push up against the mountains. The mountains are like a wall. All those bands of rain smack into it. And if anything, it just builds up the rain and rains heavily, and then just runs right back down the mountain again. You get mudslides, you get a mess. Now, on the other side of the mountains, it's a drying effect that happens when the air goes downward instead of up. So you look at the radar, and it looks very ominous on the eastern side of the Appalachians, but on the other side, you don't see as much intensity on the radar because it's a drying effect. We are on that side. So we're not right now expecting a lot of heavy rain because of that scenario. But this could be really bad news, not only for the coastal areas, but it could be really bad news for the upstate areas of South Carolina and North Carolina again. And to the mountains if the outer bands of Amilda kind of just beat up against it if it stalls out for a bit. And so there's two different things we're going to be watching here to see how this plays out. There is a chance that Amilda could drift even further west, what's shown, and get a little more towards, say, North Georgia. At that point, yes. At that point, we do not have as much of a barrier in our area, and I think we could get some at least moderate rain, maybe heavy rain in the region. Certainly where Justin Logan is in the eastern Kentucky area, Lexington area, they would be a little more prone to pick up on some of those heavier bands. But that's still a what if. You know, I could do a lot of what ifs here, as everybody is right now in their analysis on social media everywhere. I get that. But I'm just trying to give you our thoughts. And that's about the only way I see us getting into a heavier rain setup. Otherwise, it's mainly going to be clouds and light rain because the mountains will be our barrier. But bad news for areas of the Carolinas. What is even wilder is when this high moves in, it has shown signs here of taking Amilda and moving it back down to east of, say, Jacksonville, Florida, puts it there for a bit, lets it sit for a moment, still has its basic core structure intact to still spin, but not as heavy or as intense. And then once it sees an opportunity, it then goes back north again and may impact the northeast part of the country. And that would be about a week and a half out. Wouldn't that be a wild story for a tropical system? We've seen similar behavior before on these kind of setups. But again, that's a lot of what ifs. Everything has to line up kind of just right for that. But it would make sense because the jet stream, look what the jet stream is. Jet stream is not even close to these guys here, not even close. So because of that, they kind of just are playing bumper cars. They're kind of feeding off each other. Amilda is going to go and impact the United States more likely because Umberto. If Umberto was not there, Amilda probably would turn out to sea and not bother anyone. But this is an unusual setup this summer or this now fall, that it is here. We can't ignore that idea. It's there. So it will not allow Amilda to do anything but drift northwest. So if you're in the Carolinas, you have friends there, this is going to be the headline. It probably already is their lead newscast. I think I saw that several school districts are already deciding whether or not they're going to close school for the entire week next week in fear of flooding because this is moving slow and it's sitting still over water for the majority of the time. So it's just going to be picking up moisture off the Atlantic and just throwing it over land over and over and over and over again. And you're talking about inches of rain, if not over a foot of rain, if not even more than that can fall in that kind of a scenario. So it could be a big mess, big story for sure. Our impacts, again, just really depend on the angle of attack here. If it stays generally on the other side of our barrier of the Appalachians, only light showers, mainly clouds, would get peeled off over the mountains and sink down our way. So that's minimal. And certainly we would be lucky compared to what everyone else is facing with this. But if Amilda drifts a little more west toward Alabama and central Georgia area, then its bands could actually start to influence our weather with a little bit heavier rain. So what I'm trying to say is our 10-day is likely to keep evolving. Stay close to it. Right now, I'll show you where we stand today on it. But we just have got to wait. There's nothing else we can do. We just got to let this play out and see what other things we're going to learn. Because, again, there's not a lot of historical context in this type of setup in particular. So we're kind of just playing the waiting game and seeing how well weather models are. Good test for them right now to see how they handle this kind of setup. Once the high does move and slides off to the south and east, what is interesting is there is another low, which is this one over here into the Rockies. It does roll out. And initially, that was the one that I was tracking to be what I love to call a season changer front. This one had force with it. It was going to bring in cold air into October here, maybe even some strong thunderstorms. But Amilda and its involvement has changed the storyline. So now I'm seeing a more tamer version. In fact, we may still get that boundary, but it may not have as much of a kick on the colder air side. It may not have much rain with it at all. It depends. Maybe if there's enough moisture still lingering, it could get pulled ahead of it. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We're like a week and a half out. on that. So right now, once we get past this, I think the next time period to watch that gets a little more active is going to be mid-October all the way through Halloween. That entire 15th through Halloween is a pretty active little block, a time of weather, as we're starting to get other things happening across the globe that are lining up for that. But the first 10, 15 days, I think it's really going to be focused on how this is going to play out. Any questions on this setup before I get to the 10-day? Hi, Todd. That's great. Did you get your car replaced? Yes. Thank you for asking. I did get it replaced. Hey, Crispy, what's that moisture going to mean for us? Severe weather risk, the season changer front, a week after next. It's still happening. It just depends. If it moves real fast, which typically it can happen, and move in and race across, it won't have time to scoop up much. If it is really slow, Crispy, and you bring up a good point, there may still be moisture from a milda still here, lingering. So if it's a slower system that rolls in, it may end up being a low pressure that moves in and scoops up all this tropical moisture, and you end up one giant upper low with rounds of rain, almost identical we just went through, would happen again in mid-October, or about the 6th through the 10th, something like that. It would repeat. So to answer your question, that's what would happen if a milda still was around to give it this moisture still. But that's still a what if. But I know you guys love what ifs. Flooding in Louisville. No, I'm not talking about flooding in Louisville. This is all flooding about the East Coast, the Carolinas, and to the foothills of the Appalachians. So North Carolina, Asheville again. Those outer bands mean business because they can travel so far out, and they start to cause problems before the center of the storm can even get to the coastline. Inland areas are already like, we're done. We're sick of the rain already. It's that effect that is happening more often, to where the latest studies continue to show that damaging hurricanes, yes, the storm surge is big. The winds that everyone sends the reporters to stand on the beach, like, oh, it's blowing out here, that has always been a big factor of hurricanes, right? That's a majority of the coverage we have in our heads for hurricane coverage is that. But in reality, the most dangerous part has been the outer bands moving inland and causing problems against higher terrain areas like the Appalachians that run into flash flooding before the main storm even arrives. And Helene has proven that, and this is another good example of where that could come into play. I'm not saying it's going to be a repeat of Helene. I'm just saying that the setup, the mechanics of it are similar in that sense, that we just need to watch it. Clayton, timing for Charleston impact. It's a very slow mover, but in general, this is going to be about a Monday through Tuesday type of deal. So you got a couple more days. I think they're already telling a lot of folks there, just go ahead and start preparing for flooding, preparing for some wind. I don't know how strong it's going to get, because again, intensity forecast is really tough on these things, but they do tend to get a little stronger than what the models say. But it's got a limit. It can only get so strong, and it's going to start interacting with land. Unlike Umberto and Gabrielle and even Aaron, they avoided land in many cases, so they had a lot of time to get really strong. Let's see, what other questions? Jeremy, it's already, it's not already at the Azores now, Gabrielle. It may already, but Gabrielle did trigger no alerts for the Azores. I'm not sure what Umberto will do yet. I haven't looked too far out at its turn in the track. Todd, how much did it help on the recent rain for drought? I don't know the official result of that until Thursday of next week, before we get the official map. But I'm sure it took several areas down a category, and in some parts of the area may have been eliminated altogether. It was a good dose of rain. It was definitely well needed, so I'm happy about that. Let's see. Edward, what level of hurricane? The data right now says Cat 1, but we don't know. The Gulf Stream is right ahead of it. It just depends on how fast and a forward motion does it have. If it moves fast, it'll start getting stronger. The boom, it's already on land. So then it's cut off on getting stronger. If it goes to, say, 110 miles east of Folly Beach in South Carolina and stays there, then it has a chance to go a little stronger. Now, if it stays stationary too long, to play devil's advocate, it causes that upwelling effect where it breathes in. It churns the water so much, it breathes in the cooler water underneath up to the surface, and it chokes the system and it starts to weaken. So there's different ways to get it to weaken, but at the same time, in a short burst, it can get stronger. But there's no data right now that says that is going to happen. I'm just speaking on historically in that zone what can happen. Cameron, can we see the matrix? No matrix to show today. I will tell you that the most recent update for that one little snow flurry chance was in November. It's still there. It didn't go away. That's all it is, though. Okay, everyone good? Great. All right. I appreciate y'all watching. Let me get to the 10 days so you guys have something to reference here. As we evolve along into the week ahead, I'm going to go up to 85. Ooh, 85. Now, again, it won't feel like 85 just because the humidity will be lower, but still a really nice weekend, guys. Enjoy it. Get some of your Halloween decor up. I've already seen a lot of inflatables have been up. Actually, I've been seeing Halloween stuff up since probably July. So if you want to take advantage of this nice weekend, now's a good time to do that. And then we're going to just increase the clouds for the middle of the week to account for some impacts from a mildew being felt in the area. And then that high pressure, that strong high, does punch in eventually for us at the end of the week. So that should clear the sky out, and it will push the numbers down just a smidge, just a few degrees down into the first full weekend of October there. So overall, not a bad looking setup, right, guys? All right, you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging with me here today, and thanks for Myra and Justin Logan for making a special appearance. As always, appreciate that. Stay safe. I'll have more coming up today on Wave News at 3. And don't get too bogged down on crazy social media posts right now saying all kinds of wild things about these systems. I've laid out to you what we think is the scenario we're looking at, what factors we're still monitoring. And all we need to do right now is help our friends out. And if you are watching from that area, all you need to do is just be prepared, especially for flooding more than anything. And let's hope we get the tamer version of all this mess. Take care, guys. I will see you on the flip side.